Namaste, y'all. Welcome to day three. Day three, we're going to focus on the hips and the hamstrings. So these are areas where our tightness can either be as a result of the activities that we're doing. If you're a very active person, you're a runner, you're a cyclist, there's a contract release constantly going on, and that can tighten up these areas. If you're on the other end of that spectrum, maybe you're like, I don't do any of that. If you are, you spend a lot of time in your car or at a desk, you're just in constant contraction. And then there's also a school of thought that says that these are sort of where we hold on to a lot of life experiences, grudges, etc. So that may come up in some of the poses. So we'll again start with our salutations, and then we'll move through a few other, might be new standing poses for some. A block or a strap could be very helpful to have for a couple of these poses. But we're going to start like we always do, standing at the top of our mat. So come on up to the top. We're going to go through two sun A's here, and then our B's will go back to a little bit more like the traditional B, but we'll incorporate some new poses. So finding the top of your mat, hands at your heart. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale, dive out over your legs. Halfway up on that in-breath. On the exhalation fold, taking it back your way, coming through your vinyasa. So remember, you might come chaturanga up dog or to the belly for cobra. Depends on what you feel like today. Back to that down dog. Again, might help to wiggle around a little bit in this first one. And then let's see if we can find some stillness. Two more breaths here. Then looking up at the top of your mat, lift up your heels. Step, hop, or float to the top. Halfway up on that in-breath. Exhale, fold. Arms out to the side. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. One more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive out over the legs. Halfway up on your inhale. Exhale, fold your way back. Coming through your vinyasa. To down dog. Seeing if you can find some stillness. Then looking up at the top, lift up those heels, step, hop, or float to the top of your mat. Now this time we're going to go ahead and bring those feet together. Halfway up on your inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, sink your hips, sitting down into chair pose. Utkatasana. Rock a little bit forward and back so it doesn't feel like you're riding everything in the heels or in the toes. Exhale, fold over the legs as they straighten. Halfway up on your in-breath. Exhale, fold, take it back your way. Come through your vinyasa. I'm going to sit this one out. All right, then when you find that down dog, walk the feet forward a little bit, about half a step. Right foot forward, left heel down. We're revisiting the traditional one we did at the beginning. Now come up, warrior one. We're going to stay here. Bring your hands to your hips. Draw your hands. Let your right hand draw the right hip back, and the left hand draw the left hip forward. Plug down into that right big toe and that left pinky toe. Then arms up alongside the head. Next exhale, hands to the floor. Take it back to down dog. Pause here. See what you feel like you need. Plank to dog, or a full vinyasa, or just staying in down dog. Down dog is a valid yoga pose, you know. Then find your way back to dog. Left foot forward, right heel down, torso up, hands on those hips. Again, use that to square these hips. Once you realize what this feels like, it's easier to do it on the next few rounds, and you won't have to take that moment to do it. Like it'll just become instinctual to draw front hip back, back hip forward. Then hands to the floor, taking it back your way. Maybe a vinyasa, maybe not. Then looking up at the top of your mat, lift up those heels. Step, hop, or float to the top. Halfway up on your in-breath. Exhale, fold. Arms out to the side, reach up on that inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. So now we're going to add in a couple of new poses. So feet together, bend the knees, sink your hips, arms up alongside the head. Inhale. Exhale, fold over the legs. Halfway up on that in-breath. Exhale, fold, take it back, your way. Remember, you got those choices of vinyasas. Slightly shorter stance, so feet come up a little bit. Right foot forward, left heel down. Inhale, up to warrior one. Then you can bring your right hand to your right hip and straighten that right leg. Bring your left arm straight out in front of you. So soften those shoulders down. You're going to hinge from this hip. Your left hand is going to come to the floor or block inside that right foot. If you feel a little bit more open, you can come on the foot or outside the foot. Lean through the spine. You're going to start to take a twist towards this right leg. Press down into that right big toe. Press down into that left pinky toe. Maybe your right hand reaches up into the sky. This is one of my top 5 favorite poses. Revolve triangle. Let's do 3 more breaths there. Then hands back to the floor. A little bend in that knee so your hands can find your mat. Take it back to down dog. Now I like to bend my left knee and drop my right heel. Just for a breath or 2. And then dog or vinyasa. Finding your way back to down dog. Slightly shorter stance. Left foot forward, right heel down. Up into warrior one. Left hand on that left hip, right arm straight ahead. So again, it's this idea that this left hip's moving back, this right hip's drawing forward. Then your right hand to floor block. You could also take the hand to the opposite shin, by the way. Then start to twist towards that left leg. Maybe that left hand up into the sky. Two more breaths. Then hands to your mat. A little bend in that front knee. Step back. Bend your right knee. Let that left heel drop down. Then either dog or a vinyasa. Then looking up at the top of your mat, lift up those heels. Step, hop, or float. Halfway up on your in-breath. Exhale, fold. Arms out to the side. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do that one more time. So bend those knees, sink those hips. Last chair pose. Inhale, exhale. Since it's the last one, let's drop the hips another ½ inch maybe. Inhale, exhale. Since it's the last one, maybe let's lift the heels. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, heels down. Inhale, exhale, fold over the legs as they straighten. I know, unpleasant. Halfway up on the in-breath. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, travel back your way. You know the drill by now. Dog or vinyasa. That slightly shorter stance, so move the feet up a little bit. Right foot forward, left heel down. Inhale, up to warrior one. Then hands to your hips, straighten that right leg. Try to square up to this top edge of your mat. Then on the exhale, we're going to start to hinge forward from the hips and see if we can fold and round over this right leg. Now you could do a couple of things. You could hop this left foot up about ½ inch. You could have a block under each hand. I like to turn my left heel so that it's pointing straight back. And then I get a nice stretch in that calf muscle. Keep drawing that right hip back. And if you're really diligent about this, you'll feel this in hamstring and hip of that right leg maybe, and then maybe a little bit of that calf and hamstring of that left leg. Let's do one more breath. I know y'all are like, shut up and get us out of this. Bend that knee, step back, down dog. Again, maybe you bend that left knee, Drop that right heel for a couple of breaths. And then maybe that takes you through vinyasa or not. Find your way back to down dog. Feet move up a little bit. Last time, left foot forward, right heel down. Up into warrior one. Hands to your hips. Straighten that left leg. Again, square the hips. Start to hinge forward. And again, as you get about that halfway mark, that might be where you hop that back foot up. See if you can fold and round over this left leg. And then maybe pivot that right heel so it points straight back. One more breath. Then lunge into that leg, hands to the floor. Down dog, bend that right knee, drop that left heel. Then maybe a vinyasa here. And then when you find down dog, you're going to walk your feet about halfway up the mat. Hands back to the feet. Let's go ahead and roll up. We're going to turn face alongside of our mat. Take your feet wide, wider than your shoulders, maybe. Toes, we're going to point that long side of your mat, maybe slightly turn them in. We're going to bring the hands behind us, interlace the fingers. Roll the shoulders back and down, tip the chin up. Exhale, hinge forward, fold over these legs. You might stop halfway. You might find you have to heel toe the feet in. Keep pressing into all toes. Try not to ride into the big toe or pinky toe side. And let your hands come back to the small of your back. Come up about halfway. Put the other hand on top. Exhale, fold back over. And drop your hands to the floor. Walk them forward a little bit so that your spine can become long and your chest parallel to the floor. Heel toe the feet in to a little bit wider than your shoulders. Toes are going to point out. We're going to bend the knees and squat down. Now you could use a block up underneath your sit bones here and try to get your elbows inside your knees and bring your palms together. Such a good move for your low back, your hips, your hip flexors. You might rock a little bit side to side. And let's see if we can hold this for about 1 minute. And tip your head towards your fingers and curl your tailbone under a little bit. I promise this is going to feel so good when you come out of it. About 30 more seconds. If you need to come out before, by all means, feel free. Just about 5 more seconds. You can let your fingertips come to the floor. Take a deep breath in. Moan or groan if you need to. As you lean forward and send those hips up. Oh. Maybe a little side to side with those hips. And from here, let's come down onto our seat. We're going to do another forward fold. Both legs extended this time for Paschimottanasana. You might lean to side and pull some junk out the trunk. If you can reach your feet, go for it. If it's ankles or shins, go for that. Find some length in your spine. Then exhale, hinge forward. If you have a low back situation, keep your spine longer rather than kind of caving into it. Feel like your feet are pressing forward and your hips are pressing back. do 5 more breaths here. And then reach through your arms, sweep up on that inhale. Exhale, hands alongside the hips. Close your eyes for a moment. Deep breath in. Open the mouth. Sigh it out. We're going to do one more twist before we go to the mat. So bend your right knee, step your right foot over to the outside of your left leg. You can either keep this left leg extended, or you can bend that left knee and bring your left heel outside your right hip. If you find that everything's kind of caving over, then keep that bottom leg extended. Start with both hands on your knees. Find a little length in your spine. We're going to bring that left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind us. Exhale, start to twist towards the right. And as you twist towards the right, hug that right inner thigh into your torso. And see if you can look over that back shoulder. It's a great twist, but you also get a little opening across chest and shoulders, and you get a little bit of a stretch on that right hip. And we're going to come back to the center, a very slight counter twist. And we'll switch the legs. Send out the right leg, left leg, give it a little shake maybe. Left foot outside right leg. Right leg is going to be straight, or you're going to bend it, bringing that right heel outside that left hip. Right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you. Lean first. Try not to go into the twist. Kind of round it over. Take your twist towards that left leg. Let's do 2 more breaths. Then let go of that twist. Slight counter twist to the other side. Then you just come back to the center, uncross the legs, give them a little shake. Then lie down onto your mat. We're going to do a breath technique called the 4-7-8 breath. This is a great breath to help you calm down if you're feeling like stressed or anxious. You're going to breathe into the count of 4, hold for 7, then breathe out through the mouth for the count of 8. So we'll start by how we always do. 1 hand on heart, 1 hand on belly. A couple of cleansing breaths. Deep breath in. Open mouth. Deep breath in. Open mouth. Inhale to 4. Hold for 7. Through the mouth for 8. Three more times. Inhale. Hold. Through the mouth. Inhale. Hold. Through the mouth. One more. Inhale. Hold. Through the mouth. And a deep breath in. As you open the mouth to exhale, let your arms drop down beside you. Close the eyes. Our hips and our hamstrings are often associated with a feeling of needing to do things. Let yourself slide into that space of just being and not doing. If you have another 3 to 5 minutes to stay in the Shavasana, I encourage you to do that. Otherwise, thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.